Hey, how we doing, guys?
Morning, everybody.
Joe here.
Kevin.
So Schitt's Creek, season 5. A lot of you guys have said that season 5 is your favorite season, and if the rest of the show is like that first episode, I can see why.
The croning was amazing.
It was incredible.
I always, you talk about your favorite characters, and David obviously is a popular one for a lot of people.
Alexis, yeah.
And Alexis, but man, I got to tell you, I'd be lying if I didn't say anytime we have like a really like Moira centric.
Episode.
Where she's unhinged Moira
Yeah.
is probably the most fun I have watching the show.
I agree with you. I think in many ways it's her show. She steals
Right.
the show episode and episode.
She steals it. I don't think it's by design. I think it's supposed to be Alexa and David's show for sure.
Yeah. I think it is. I think you're right. I think it is supposed to be focused on the kids, but she is just such a scene stealer.
Completely. Yeah. No, she's
incredible.
She's a massive talent for sure.
I mean, you have her dressed as a crow mutant.
That was great.
Bird nest.
That nest performance was so good.
And look, I understand it's a fake movie for a TV show, but if they wanted to spend a day and just bang out a 30-minute like movie within the show universe, I'd watch it.
I'd watch The Croning. I've watched chunks of Birdemic, which isn't any better. So
yeah,
I would go back and definitely watch Catherine O'Hara in this awful movie.
That's kind of my thing when I'm sick. Like when I'm at home sick all day, I'll just like put on TV and watch like B movies from the Sci-Fi Channel.
How long do you think we can drag that out though? Moira not being with the family.
That's a good point. I thought about that. I don't know. I think maybe 2-3 episodes.
Yeah, only a couple episodes.
Yeah.
It can't be a season. You need Moira there.
Yeah.
But
I think it's good drama to see that like. So in the last episode, they said that this is the longest that Johnny and Moira.
Right, he was struggling. Right.
So I think you can get some good drama out of that. You can get some really heartfelt moments. So
and you can have a lot of fun with an overly involved Johnny in everybody's business.
That was one of the best bits too. Was he's doing all of Roland's work?
Exactly. Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing him kind of being a helicopter parent at this point, which is kind of funny when your kids are like pushing 30.
And he's like, my babies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that'd be great.
What'd you have for breakfast? All right, guys. Thanks for being here with us.
All right. Well, yeah. If you're spacing out today, it's early. If you're watching this on YouTube for the first time, welcome to our channel. Hit the like button for us. Leave us a comment down below, and please hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on the new content we have coming your way.
Yeah. If you'd like to see a full-length reaction to this and everything else we watched or are watching, please check out a link in the description below to our Patreon page. We've got a lot of content there, and as we wrap up a couple of shows, as we did with Succession,
Succession's done.
Right. We'll be adding new as we continue to move forward.
Look out for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it wasn't Kubrick.
No.
I've been up since 8 a.m. 3 days ago with time changes.
Oh my God, go to bed.
Here to see you.
What?
I didn't want to disturb you. I just wanted you to know that Mommy got home safe and sound.
Okay, good night.
I say sniffles.
Instead of
My bad.
sleeping last night, I decided to power right through.
Yeah.
I came upon this stack of love letters written to your father by another woman.
What?
I'd like you open your cash register and give me your money.
Oh my God.
Small problem. Our money isn't for sale.
Does he actually have a weapon?
There's no way. Look at the way he's holding it. His hand's just in his jacket. It's not even near a pocket or anything. Yeah.
There's no inside pocket in a sweater like that.
Right.
I would.
Take it that you have it?
Yeah, exactly. It's more about the watch than it's about the relationship.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, if you know what it's like to be mortally deprived of one's sleep.
I haven't slept in 8 months.
Yeah, she has a baby.
Would you like to hear me sing a traditional love song?
I would. It's just the baby's sleeping.
There's no need to keep talking about it now. You guys are going to have to go through this all again in much more detail when the police get here.
Yeah.
If we want any insurance money for the things that were stolen, you have to explain everything to the police.
While all this was going down.
A tough one. But you can't say he had a mask. He said this is a robbery. He had his hand in his jacket. I think you're okay.
Yeah, you're fine.
Just how they gave it to him was dumb.
I'm not getting beat up or shot over anything.
For sure, right.
Why don't I swap for it? I have a toe ring that would look so cute on you.
Word on the street is that you're in a little hot water with Moira.
Yeah.
No. Everybody likes to take trips down memory lane, but you gotta get rid of the evidence. Those spicy letters from Miss Butterfly that you left out for Moira to find.
How do you know about those letters? Why were you talking to Bob about it?
Wrote them.
We're trying to save your marriage,
because she's so
bud.
sleep deprived.
Although Gwen thinks it's probably a lost cause.
I don't think John is.
She thinks she might be a sexaholic.
Or they weren't written to Johnny, like his dad's name's Johnny, and it was from his mom or something. That's possible too.
Why do you have those? I think Moira wrote them, honestly.
I do too. That was where I've been leaning.
Did they mention there was a weapon involved?
Can you describe the weapon?
Well, if there's a weapon,
it was concealed.
These guys are so
You
bad
have
at
no
this.
idea
He
what
had
it
his
looks
hand in his
like
pocket.
or
He has
whether
hand in his
there
pocket,
was one
yeah.
in the first place.
You guys said you were held up.
Emotionally,
You offered the wine, and you offered
Yeah,
the cheese and the
that's where you
tapenade,
lose me, is the
and there
offering
was
of
no
the
gun.
stuff, yeah.
This guy just sounds like a lucky customer, David. So you upsold the robber.
Yes.
I did not.
Literally.
They
Big
did-
deal.
they did
wearing the
give
locket.
stuff,
Here,
yeah.
take some cheese.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I don't know, am I?
Gave the locket to
Well, John returns.
Okay, Moira, don't tell me you still haven't slept.
When we rehearsed,
You were in a body cast, they wouldn't let you take it off. You were writing with your left hand.
unfortunately, we're going to have to stick with my version of the events.
What? Why would we do that?
I don't want anyone thinking I wrote these.
God. Wasn't
It
it?
was very unhinged.
More so than usual on this show.
Yeah.
Like, everyone was kind of ratcheted up to 11.
I like it when you have these episodes, though.
For sure.
This was a lot like the Erbling
Yeah.
episode where she gets trashed in the trailer. Yeah, just a fun. Okay, so this wasn't really establishing anything except for Moira's back.
Right.
Business as usual, but also just crazy stuff is happening.
Everyone was at the. There were a lot of like, "What are you doing?" moments throughout the entire show here. I loved it with all the characters, all three storylines.
Were
Yeah,
really
A,
bizarre.
A, B, and C storylines were all
Psycho.
nuts.
Yeah, swapping jewelry. More thinking that Johnny's cheating, which is hilarious because Johnny would never do that.
Of course.
And the robbery situation is
that one was the most head scratching of the three, honestly. Somehow,
I mean, they were robbed. They were robbed. I love that we're actually questioning it too. It's like, were they were robbed?
They were. The guy came in and said, "I'm robbing you. Put something in a bag." And after that is when they blew it. When it's like, "Oh, how would you like to take everything?"
Yeah, being held up is one thing. Helping the robber.
Yeah, there's a little too much helping the robber.
I get it though. Somebody comes into my store, I'm not gonna fight them.
Those two are gonna panic.
Yeah,
it's David and Stevie. They were gonna panic.
Once his hands are full, you lock the door.
I don't know. The one thing I do know is that one, it seemed fairly clear that he wasn't armed. Although, if you're in the moment, if you're actually scared and something like that's happening, maybe you don't want to take the chance. Maybe you don't want to get any hit with a bottle, beat up, whatever.
Sure, assaulted. You don't want to get. Yeah, you don't want to.
David and Stevie aren't going to fight some guy off, so let him take the stuff. Like I said, the only weird thing to me was would you like some cheese and tapenade or whatever that was to go with that? Yeah, tapenade to go with that.
Which I don't know what tapenade is even.
I'm sure it's some kind of very nice jelly. Would be my guess.
Let us know.
Yeah. Now the one thing that I was kind of head scratching on, or was like invested in personally was Alexis getting rid of all of Ted's stuff, and Ted keeping all of hers, saying it's romantic to hold on to stuff from exes. Where do you come down on that?
Like I said, if it's clothing or like a watch, I have it. Like I've got several different jackets and sweaters from previous relationships, but I photos and stuff like that.
Right.
Nah.
See, that's kind of me too. I mean, I don't have a line. This is just like off the top of my head or anything. There's no philosophy involved.
Sure.
But if it's something I use, you know what I mean?
Yeah, if it's practical.
Right. If it's practical, if an ex gave me a blender, right, that I make smoothies with or whatever, I'm keeping the blender to make my smoothies. You know what I mean? But you're right. Photographs, love letters, anything like personal that I don't care about,
Yeah.
Birthday cards, whatever. That stuff gets burned.
There's no wrong or right answer for that. I feel
of course
like.
Not. Right.
How sentimental you are kind of depends on each person.
Sure.
If it is love letters, that might be a little strange, especially if you're in a new relationship.
Right. Well, I remember I dated one girl when I was an undergrad in college, and the first time I went in her dorm room, she had like like a shrine from like her prom to her high school boyfriend up in her dorm room, and I was like, and I told her, I was like, this is just awkward and weird for me. Do you still talk to him, or like, am I interrupting like something emotional here?
You walk in, she's like,
now,
got away.
I didn't tell her what to do or anything, but she did kind of take it down in the next couple of weeks, and then boxed it up, but only because it was, I was clearly uncomfortable with it, but I wasn't a jerk about it. But I thought it was weird,
a bit strange.
Yeah,
if he had passed, it'd be one thing. But
no, he was alive and going to a different college.
The one who got away,
right? Yeah, exactly.
Well, let us know, guys. Have you kept anything besides jewelry or clothing from an ex?
Or do you do what I do and go the Ron Swanson route of burning an ex effigy? Because that's more where I kind of come
That is the
down.
Ron Swanson route, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I just remember when watching that episode of Parks and Rec where Ron's explaining burning an ex-wife effigy, and I'm like, I'm with Ron on this
Tammy.
one. Yeah. I have some experience with sadistically destroying something an ex has given me and enjoying it.
It's cathartic.
It is cathartic for me, anyway. But you're right. Different strokes for different folks. There's no right or wrong answer. But that's how I chose to emotionally deal with some of that
There's
stuff.
no fire pit in my house.
Right?
Trash.
Yeah. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. Absolutely.
Yeah, great episode. I like it when they do this. I like the fun episodes that aren't really important.
Right. Kind of surprised that the Crowaning is already done with their shoot, but I guess it kind of makes sense.
But yeah, you're right. I'm surprised that we're not going to get more episodes where they're away. I like that she's back, but
Right.
that thing is like what, a 2-month, 3-month shoot?
Tops.
Yeah.
That might be a couple of weeks kind of shoot.
The director didn't even care.
Yeah,
Let's just shoot this.
He's like, yeah, we're going to add CGI birds in later, so all the post-production stuff still to go, but the actual shooting, there probably weren't a lot of takes. Like I said, it wasn't The Shining. It wasn't.
They're like, one and done. Here we go.
Right. Yeah. Who else besides Kubrick? Who else is really famous for like
Fincher?
Yeah, Fincher. That's right. Fincher is really big on doing a whole lot of takes.
Yeah. Do you think that The Crows Have Eyes Part 3 comes back? Do you think that it does blow up? Do you think that we hear about it again?
I don't know where we go with the last almost 2 seasons of the show, but I think it would be kind of funny if Moira has the opportunity to become a movie star because of that and turns it down to stay in Schitt's Creek with their family. I can see that happening.
I can see that happening too.
Right,
or if it's just she's just big in Bosnia, so she keeps going back to Bosnia to
right.
stuff.
Or they're going broke and she gets her Bosnian residual checks, and that's what keeps the family afloat.
Bosnian residual checks. That's gonna happen.
Oh, something. I don't think we're done hearing about the Crowaning. I just don't know in what capacity.
Yeah, I want to see resurgence of Moira's film and TV.
Right. I can see that happening because of this.
It'd be fun.
Oh, it would be.
That's a good question, though. If she leaves leaves Schitt's Creek or not, that's on the table, or if it's just.
Well, I think if she does leave Schitt's Creek, it's going to be at the end of the series, and not in the next. They're not going to continue the show without Catherine O'Hara on.
No.
So she's not leaving Schitt's Creek unless it's like the end, and it's like, well, kids, Moira's going off to make a movie, and life is good, and that's how the show kind of ends, maybe.
Sure. And then Johnny stays at the motel, and David, Stevie,
right,
and Alexis, they just kind of have their happy lives there.
Well, Alexis is doing PR now, so maybe she goes with Moira.
She could, or her and Ted go somewhere.
Right. I hope she and Ted get married.
I do too.
Then we'll see. Yeah. You never know on these kind of shows.
She's lucky to have Ted.
But yeah, Ted's actually pretty great and understanding.
He's the best.
All right, we'll catch you in the next one, guys.